Okay, today we have a SyncMaster 220 WM Samsung monitor that does not, it turns on but you get no picture, nothing. It started doing this, it finally would come up, did that about 3 times and then it was over, would not come on again. What we're going to do is take this apart, hope that we find some bad capacitors, replace the capacitors, and hope that fixes this. I've had this maybe, I don't know, a year and a half, and it went bad, so quite annoying actually. Okay, in order to get this monitor apart, there is no screws on it to get on the edges. The screws are all here in the middle, so you want to go ahead and take out the screws. These are the screws that go to the stand. Make sure you get all those out. I got one more in here I will take out and such. And then what you do is take a putty knife and you just go around the edges like this, and you just kind of pry it up, and you just keep going around, and you'll hear it kind of pop out. And just be patient, go around very slowly around all the edges, and eventually what will happen is this front plate will come off. Okay, first what you want to do is find your capacitor that's bad. This is a bad capacitor because you probably can't see it close enough up, I don't know, but it's got a little bubble on the top here. And this bubble is not good. They should be flat, like these other capacitors in here are just flat. Now, I've already taken the capacitors out of here, but basically you can see where they go. They seat down on this circle here, and you got to put positive to positive, and it should be clearly marked on here which is positive and negative. And then you will just put it goes into the holes there. So what you do is you just got to find exactly on the back side of this where your soldering connections are, and get it hot and pull this thing out. Now you might need to go on the back side because you can see these little leads on this are going to likely be bent over, and you might need to go on the back side and straighten them out before you get it hot so it'll pull out easily. And the other thing to do with these capacitors as you're taking them off is make sure you mark them. I marked the circuit board on this one with A, B, and C with the ones I was taking off. I also marked these capacitors actually twice with a permanent marker, but most of it rubbed off while I was carrying these around to get new ones. So I still know where they went, but you know, you might want to really protect them and make sure that the marking isn't coming off. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put the new ones on. Now, the new ones, the long cord, the long terminal here should be positive. And on this circuit board, you can see that the positive is clear and the negative is black. There's a circle down here, and the positive is clear and the negative is black. But check your circuit board. There should be a sign on the end that goes in for positive and negative, or for positive there'll be a plus. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and solder these on. So when you solder it on, you want to put in you just kind of, this is one of the 1000 UFs. I got 2 1000 UFs and one 470. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in here like this. Just put it into the 2 holes there, stick it down in, and then you turn it over. And you can pull these over like this so they don't get away from you. And I'm just going to go ahead and I think solder that one, and then I'll go back and do the others. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to get a little bit of solder. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and solder this real carefully. So I don't want too much. those soldered. And then you want to clip it off. Whoops. Clip it off here. Here. There you go. And now we can reassemble the circuit board, put it back on. I'm going to assemble it as little as possible before I test this thing out, see if it's going to work. Okay, so now we're going to set this right back in here. And one good thing to do is to put this back together as soon as you can so that you remember how it goes, or videotape it as you're taking it apart. So anyway, it sits back down in here like this, and then I'm going to put the screws in it and seat it back down in here. Okay, so I'm screwing these back in now. Kind of do opposite corners here as you're doing it. And don't necessarily tighten them all the way in the first time here. And that one would be the bigger screw. There's one larger screw here that I did mark with a little black mark on top so I could tell which one it was. And we'll put it right in here on this side. And we're just about done here. Alright, there we go. Now we've got some wires to hook back up. The wires I've marked so I will be able to see where they went in. They actually go in, you can see to the side right in here. There's two places for wires, right here and right here. And I've marked all of those, so I'm going to put those back in now. Okay, now this is the strange thing about this, because what it's going to do, if we've got it screwed in here, it really just kind of floats on here. It's kind of a strange contraption. So you take these screws, these wires here, and you pull them through here, and you pull them through here, and then it just kind of floats right here. And strangely enough, they've used tape to kind of hold it in place, you know, while they put it all together here. Very interesting. And then when you put the backing on it, the plastic backing, that's what will snap it all down. So anyway, that's it. Now I'm gonna get these things plugged in over here. Of course, we need to put this back on. Goes right here. And what these did here is you can see that there are little flanges here that come up. And you basically, these go on it, and then you just push these down with a screwdriver or something. There you go. Now that's back on. Do the same over here. Push that down. Push that down. Those are on. And now we're ready to try to get the plastic casing back together. Now we're going to set this down here. And then we're going to set this down into its compartment here. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so now you take these speakers, and I go ahead and push them down into their place. That one goes there. And this one goes right here. You got one hook up to do here. And I get that punched in. There we go. You might want to use these because I don't want to push this down too hard and break anything. There, got it in. And now this little guy needs to go in. And this right here, this is your headphone, and it's going to go right in here. You can see there's a hole right here in the outer deal. I put my glasses back on. This goes out of, so you put it in there, and you sink it down in. There, that's it. Now you're ready to put back on the back panel, which is right here, and I am going to put that on just gently so that I can test this out at least, and then if it all works, I will sink it back in by, it kind of just pressures in around the sides. So I'm going to test this out now before I go any further. Okay, so get my power cords and everything, and by the way, you notice this is completely unplugged as I've been working on it here. Please make sure to do that. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And what's happening with this monitor is it just, you turn it on, you got nothing at all. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've got it all plugged in. I've got it hooked to my laptop down here, as you can kind of halfway see. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and we'll see if this thing works. And what do you know, we now have another monitor that will work. It's amazing. 3 capacitors cost I think about a couple dollars a piece. I think it was probably about $5 worth of capacitors to fix this. Probably $250 that I paid for this about a year and a half ago, and it gave out on me. So this is great. This is great. That's it. And now the monitor on the right is the one that was just repaired.